Do you want to just make some general statements about the group to start with?
Yeah, I mean, we signed, guys at all levels of the defense, and I would say everybody we signed, we've had long relationships with, so I feel like we know exactly what we're getting, and we're excited about the group.
Talk a little bit about Charles Lester, his dynamicism, his athleticism, I guess what he brings to the table.
Yeah, I mean, I called him this morning. He sent it in pretty early, and the thing I'm most excited, obviously there's some football things that we're excited about his ability. Those things, I mean, he just keeps getting longer too. I mean, when I was at the house, I mean, he's one of the longer DBs in the country already. Obviously he's going to need some work technically, and Pat will do a good job with him, but he's as rangy, as athletic. He never gets out of position from a standpoint of he's so flexible. And so I think he just brings a lot of skill, and seeing what he did at Venice this year as a receiver, we've known that's been part of him. I think most good college DBs can probably play someplace on offense, and I don't think Charles is an exception. I think Charles can be a returner here too. But really, it's going to be important here when he gets here in a month of just, getting him in tuned on and how we work, how we do things. But he's just got a great heart. He's got an unbelievable skill set, really athletic, super competitive. He's a Florida State type DB.
Ty Bates also has ball skills, but I guess the DB class in general, if you want to talk about what those guys respectively, easy for me to say briefly.
Yeah, we're going to try to recruit as many really elite corners as we can. I think we really address that. This is one of the better DB classes that I've been around, and I think if you put that DB class on what we did last year and you put those two together, and that's one of the things I'm so excited about last year. There's just so many of those guys have helped us a little bit on special teams, but they all have a future. And then you add this class in with it, and it's how you build championship programs. You keep bringing in, really good skill sets with great work ethics, great people, and I think we did that with this class for sure. Kai was somebody, when I went to Edgewater to watch him practice in the spring, I was just taken aback with how easy of a mover he was because he's so long, and he was a wide receiver, but you could see just his athleticism, his ability to change direction. He plays with great knee bend for a big, long kid, and he has as good a ball skills as anybody in the country. And so when you throw the ball near him, it's a problem.
The evaluation process of DB Holmes, I know he's not particularly local, so how do you go about finding him, and I guess what stands out about his unique skill set?
Well, it starts with JP's from up that way, so he's got a bunch of connections with everybody up there, and so when he brings some guys back, especially being the position coach, it helps me. I've been up there a few times, but Didi is the prototypical length that you're looking for, and you watch him. Gonzaga is one of the better programs, and Didi has really grown, and when it really sealed it when JP went back up there last spring and watched him practice, because the in-person eval for us is really important. And I remember him calling me as he's leaving the practice, and we knew there was athleticism, we knew there was size and frame, we knew the type of kid he was. We just wanted to see what that looked like on the field in person, and JP called me right away. He says he's what we want, he's what we need. And so we went full speed after him, and we're excited about him.
Coach, you talk about linebackers, and you signed two, I think. You want to talk about that position and each of those kids?
Yeah, Jaden was somebody we had known about for a couple of years now, and when you're looking at him and you're watching him play, running back and linebacker, he fits into the Kalen DeLoach, even Blake Nicholson, like that type of frame work for us as far as, he's not a polished inside backer yet, but he's got all the ability to play a sideline, guy that can match up in coverage. He's got physicality. Everything he does is really sudden. And so Jaden was definitely someone we identified fairly early. Got a chance to see him a couple times when we went down there. Randy did a good job knowing and surrounding the family. And, he's got a history from being up here too. Jaden is a Tallahassee kid, and obviously been down there for a while, but just a great family, great dad, and an important piece of the signing class.
I guess something that's been committed for quite a while. I guess what do you see in him? What is his potential? Coach Norvell mentioned 3-tech, nose tackles, got upset to a couple.
Yeah, Jamori isn't the tallest player, 6'2", not short, but he's got really good arm length. And one of my former players at Marshall coaches down there, and we've had a connection with him. And Odell did a great job. And he is one of the more inspirational kids you'll meet. He's got a great outlook on everything, and he's really got great arm length, really good size. I mean, you look at him from the back, and like he can take on blocks. He's got enough quickness to go make plays, and it just, I think, in this day and age of recruiting, the portal's the portal, and you can go grab Fisk once in a while, but that's not available all the time. And so it's important that you're taking size and ability, even though you might not see the immediate play style of that kid early, because it's hard to play interior O-line or interior D-line just because of the strength gains that are needed. But he's got the frame, and he's got the mentality, and he's got the necessary skills to develop into somebody that can really help us here. I'm not going to compare him to KJ, but like KJ Sampson will play, and he'll play a good amount next year. And he didn't play at all this year. But just seeing him even here in bowl practice, like that's what we're hoping happens with Flag.
Coach Ravel touched on this. It's such an interesting dynamic because spend so much time recruiting players, and sometimes they resign, sometimes they develop these long-term relationships with the players. For you, I guess, how do you rationalize that? What do you tell them afterwards? What is that message you want to
Brennan, I put it into I don't want to put everything in the same mindset, but everything's connected. Like it's even like if you go and plan for a quarterback and he doesn't play, you go and plan for a certain formation and plays that people run, and they don't play, or those things don't show up in the course of a game. I see recruiting similarly. Like you're going to invest all you can, and the outcome is the outcome. And as much as you want it to go a certain way, if it doesn't, you can't look back and say, well, I wasted my time. Because then it's just not about the process of getting better. It's just about the result all the time. And then what I never want to have in life, I never want to lay anybody down. And so the only way I would is if I don't put the necessary work into all things, and then when the outcome comes and it's not what you want, and have regrets about how you went about your business. And so that's how I would kind of go about that.
Tamir Hickman Collins,
Yep.
the other linebacker. Watched some film on him, highlights. Can you talk to me about him and what you see in him?
Yeah, he was somebody that I saw early film on. We needed some in-person eval. Randy went out and watched him. He came back to camp. Randy feels really good about him. He's a great kid. He's got a winning personality. His team didn't play great this year, but every game, he was, somebody that they counted on to make his plays. And whether it was in the pass game, the run game, or the blitz game, Tamir showed up in a number of different ways this year, and he's been really important to this recruiting class. He's wanted to be here for a long time, so it'll be exciting to get him here and get to work. We'll be able to get him here in January.
Does he seem to have open field skills to you?
They all better. That's why we sign him, right? We're never trying not to get that.
I was wondering even as a safety.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's not a safety. He'll play linebacker.
Okay. Now, going down to the front four.
Yeah.
Are there still some guys you're expecting to sign this?
Absolutely.
Okay.
This is the culmination of our signing class, but you better be recruiting tonight because there's just a lot of work to be done, and there's still, with another signing period, with it constantly moving with the portal, there's a good percentage of the team still out there that you can go get.
Are you allowed to talk about Marvin Jones in this session?
No.
You hadn't signed yet.
Yeah.
You could talk about Marvin Jones Sr.
I love Shaytree.
He was great.
My first week on the job, him and Shaytree and Derek Brooks walked into the staff room and introduced themselves.
Let me stop.